The Broads, with its unique landscape of waterways cutting through reed and sedge, punctuated by windmills, is well worth protecting. Like much of our rural landscape, this scenery has been dictated by human influence, from the cutting of the peat beds which made the original waterways to the commercial growing of reed and sedge. If this area is to thrive and remain a place where millions of people come to visit, then it must be managed sustainably so it can be handed on to the next generation.
One of the things we've been doing is putting in place a series of overriding strategies and policies to guide the work of the authority, and using that also as a vehicle to make the argument to the government that we need more resources to manage this very special place.
In 2006, the Heritage Lottery Fund awarded the Broads Authority £714,000 to set up a bursary to meet specific skills shortages. With the historical and cultural landscape in mind, the project targeted reed and sedge management. This bursary has been a great collaboration between many organisations, enabling training in transferable skills which are useful in wider heritage employment, and that is so vital to the future of the East Anglian landscape. It was decided to have a double intake for the reed and sedge cutters, each one lasting 18 months. That allowed 10 people to be trained. The course was devised with the help of existing cutters, and that allowed the Broads Authority to fully understand both the commercial and conservation capacity of the beds.
You can see here you get quite a lot of short bits of reed and whatnot that you need to get rid of, because when they go on the roof, all that happens is the thatchers put battens across the reed and all the short bits slip out. Here it's 2-year-old reed, so we're shaking out all of last year's reed, which is what you see them slinging it out there, and then run the comb through it, and that cleans out what's left off of the little short bits, and then tie a string around it, knock it up, boom, job's good. And they like a nice square end. Once they're bundled up, they go onto a boat from here down the dyke that you can see, and that goes onto a trailer to the thatcher, and that goes straight onto someone's roof.
The first intake concentrated on managing the beds and working with the crop. The second emphasised wider conservation skills, managing wildlife habitats. So the course not only included reed and sedge cutting, but also habitat stewardship and caring for the landscape around the Broads.
Ever since I've been young, I've wanted to work out on the Broads, and this was an amazing opportunity for me to learn some broadland skills, especially in reed cutting. When I was little, I saw some volunteers go out, and I thought that's where I want to be working. And I volunteered for a year, and then I got on the course. I'd like to be employed on the Broads, doing conservation or ecology, or in fact reed cutting, self-employed, which is a very good opportunity itself.
If I look at my own sort of family history, we can take that back. Family sort of worked on the marsh from the 1800s, so we need, if you want to keep that kind of landscape, and that it needs to provide a living. If not, people will go away.
So far we're getting on really well, actually. Yeah, we're also totally different, but yeah, we all do get on really well. A bit of banter, which I like. So just fancied a change. I wanted something outdoors, I wanted to do something physical. And I thought that, learning about the environment and stuff, I'd be able to pass it down to my children. That would be something really good to pass on to them.
That we need to be producing sustainable materials, and I think that's sort of the future of the reed cutting, is its sustainability.
The RSPB was involved, particularly myself, from the outset at the sort of steering group meetings that the Broads Authority held at Easton College, trying to develop the whole idea of the bursary scheme. Subjects it's hard to put across to people. If you know you've got to take a crop off, you've got to take a crop off. So the conservation and the commercial don't usually marry. So to try and put into the minds of the guys who are doing the work for us as a contractor at the end of the day, what we need specifically is very, very key to us, so that they can know what the boundaries are, know where their limits are, know how far they can stretch it. And also the whole part of the deal is if we can help them, being a bigger organisation, to smooth the way, provide infrastructure, help them with some of the work, giving them a plan and pass on our knowledge to them so it keeps growing and growing and growing.
We try to bring in what I would class as the realistic approach to the whole thing, showing that conservation and management can work in tandem and provide a mosaic of an environment to the benefit of all. The commercial crop then provides the monetary source to allow the conservation and the future management to take place, because clearly you've got to pay for these things.
I think there's an enormous power in collaborative working, and not just purely in education, but in terms of addressing issues locally that we're trying to address. And in our case, it goes broader than just pure education. Working with the Broads Authority, things like looking at how we increase the number of grazing livestock to retain our natural environment is very important. That isn't just going to be about training people, it's going to be about helping them run a small business themselves, if necessary coming up with capital support arrangements, and working very much more on economic development than just learning. And I think it's quite dangerous to try and get into too small a silo with these particular things. It's about providing the skills and the wherewithal for people to achieve the maximum they can, particularly where it then benefits our local industries and community.
The Broads Authority works directly with experts in their field who are willing to share their experience and expertise to devise and deliver projects which focus on real issues. Many of these people are real characters, part of the living landscape. Having a flexible approach, tailoring training to meet individual needs, means that the project can cater for a wide set of skill levels.
So you can get them used to coming into a certain small area. If they're in a smaller space, you've got far more opportunity. One, to look at them closely. Two, to actually think, well, if I need to get a livestock trailer in here and move them, then the next thing is, well, do you have a corral that you need to that you can get them into and actually handle them? A lot of these areas stipulates they need to be grazed by certain types of livestock. With the pony and the cow, obviously you've got two very different grazers. You've got the cow has teeth on the bottom, a hard pad on top, and a very large, powerful tongue. And what they do is wrap it around the grass, grab hold of it, and rip it.
It was a cold January day when I met up with some of the bursars working with one of Norfolk's old-time reed cutters. We're standing actually right in amongst the reeds. We've walked across a little bridge here, and we're standing in an area of the country. If you look on a map, there's more water than land. The reed areas stretch over miles and miles, but there are very few reed and sedge cutters left, aren't there?
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult a job is it?
That's hard work, very hard work. You look to lose anything up to a stone and a half in the winter time while you're cutting reed. That's right.
Keeps you fit.
Keep you fit. Fit as 10 men, 9 dead and the other one unconscious. And we used to cut about 15,000 bunches a year. And as I say, by the time you'd done, you knew you'd done it.
Now, the scythe that you used first, was that a long-handled scythe?
No, just an ordinary scythe, what they call a brush cutting scythe. That was instead of a 1 4-foot blade, this was about a 2'6" blade with a hoop on it. So as you swept into the reed, that didn't fall everywhere. The hoop on the scythe gathered it up and laid it in a straight line, so you could go around with your hook and pick it up.
The experience of delivering the Heritage Lottery-funded bursary means the Broads Authority is in a prime position to deliver new projects. The management and partnership structures which have already been set up can easily be expanded to provide wider and more sustainable projects. This means the Broads Authority will be able to achieve its vision for the landscape, the local economy and local communities. Not a bad thing in these uncertain times.